All right. Damn it. Let's do this motherfucking thing. Let's, as a matter of fact, let me put the shades on right now. Ugh, reading this bullshit's gonna be ridiculous. Ridiculous. For goddamn ridiculous. I already read some of these, and I was just like, bruh, what the hell? What are we really out here doing? As a matter of fact, I see what y'all doing. Y'all coming to check out your boy Ham Solo. Make sure you hit that like button, share it out. Let everybody know that your boy is out here live. What's cracking, Dragonheart Yobi? I see you're the first one in the chat. As a matter of fact, he did a member chat as well. Thank you for being part of the membership, brother. I appreciate it. He says peace, love, life as usual. But man, oh man, I'm excited. So I'm gonna be reading off some of these terrible reviews that were sent into Metacritic. And as you know, everybody likes to use Metacritic as, console war. Oh man, my game is good. Look at the Metacritic score. This game's trash. Look at the Metacritic score. But a lot of people don't really look into the Metacritic scores to see what the hell that some of these reviewers are even saying. I know that some of you that are here today watching are like, yo, I already know what this shit's about. They be lying on there. And it's more than just Xbox games. This happens to PlayStation games. This happens to Nintendo games. This happens to all sorts of different types of games from different types of platforms. I just thought that this one was egregious. So I decided to kind of get into this one today. So without any further ado, let's go on ahead and get to the first review. First one, I have this set up. So if I scroll all the way to the very bottom, you can see that this is out of 33 pages. I stopped at page 25 because this is when things got pretty ridiculous when I was looking into it. Okay. Back in like for 24, as you can see, there's some fives there. Some of these are pretty ridiculous too, but I wanted to go straight into the meat and potatoes of this. Because look, it goes 5 all the way down to 4. 4 is where it ends at for number 24 right here, if you guys can see this. Number 24. But once you go to the very next page, and I have this specifically sorted by user score, okay? So I have it sorted by user score. It goes from 4 to 1. 4 to 1. I'm actually gonna put this up here so you guys can see what I'm seeing a little bit better. So yeah, it goes from 4 to 1, which is fantastic. So let's go on ahead and read the first one by Gearmite or Geromite or whatever the hell he wants to call himself. This was on September 7th. So a day after, I believe, the game initially launched. He says, or she, whoever they are, where is the promised liberty when you can it? So that's going to be a common thing within these reviews is a lot of them don't know how to write. So some of these aren't going to sound like they make a whole lot of sense, but bear with me, folks. Please bear with me. All right. So it says, where is the promised liberty when you cannot, when enter in planet atmosphere, take off, landing, they reused many assets of Fallout because I don't feel to be in the future, maybe except on Neon. It's rusty hangars everywhere. Most of the planets are empty. Missions are not exciting. It looks like a 2013 game. It's ugly, full of bugs. The only positive thing, it's make me wanted to come back playing No Man's Sky, who is in 2023 an excellent space futuristic game. Everything Starfield is not. Pretty. I mean, that he said a lot of words right there. I'll give him that. He said a lot of words right there, and not a lot of it made sense. Next one is Robert KN21 says, since they announced they sold it as the average novelty in the era of gaming and simply a common RPG in space with which you cannot navigate in freestyle or in any style. It has many bugs and on Xbox Series S and is poorly optimized and takes long time to load resources. And its stories are simple. It's simply a dollar Game Pass game. How about that? The dollar. I wonder what type of person wrote that. Continuing to Fabiank 2 or something like that. Whatever. September 7th as well. Still on the same day. Incredibly boring game. There are a lot of loadings, of loadongs here that break the rhythm of the game. There are some good ideas here, but the execution is lousy. Kind of like this review. And their os left is a really slow experience full of loadings or loading a disappointments. What the fuck? No proofreading goes into any of this stuff at all. Wagwan. What up, Bunty? Good to see you, brother. Let's go right next to the next one. I mean, these people just proofreading is just out of the window, but they got a lot of feelings about this game. All right, so Red Apex says, God, Starfield is a game with graphics from 2015, a story from 2010, and gameplay from 2007. Unfortunately, there was regression from the first hours of the game. Sounds like this person gave a whole lot of chance to Starfield, wasn't biased at all walking into this. Not even slightly. What's cracking? Why so serious? Thank you for popping in. Thanks for popping in. It is wild. These reviews are awful and the grammar even worse. Let's continue. Statutory says, pathetic. I'm so disappointed. Todd Howard and his club are great liars. They promise us freedom and exploration, and then we get this. The magic of Bethesda games is gone, dead. The game is shallow in a lot of aspects. The ambient graphics are just okay, but the NPCs, my God, breaks the immersion every time. Oh, people said already there are a lot of loading. Check that out right there. Oh, like people said, okay, like people said already, there are a lot of loading too. 30 FPS is fine for those who have a good TV that smooths the frames. But loading screens in 2023? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Everything for Todd, Bethesda, Phil, and Xbox is now weak excuses. We're forced to explore empty planets on foot. That's the way it should be. Combat is like another generic shooter. The AI is worse than every game I've played before. Every game. Anyway, people was expecting to be the greatest and big game ever is just a frustrated, broken, and shallow game. Thanks for ruining things up, Xbox. How about that? Oh man, we're just getting started, folks. We are just getting started because this is, I mean, let me make sure. I'm still at the very top half of this page, and we're only on 25 out of 33 pages. So we're just kicking off right now. So very next one, let's go on and head down to it. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Kojigila. I don't know how to do that one. And I mean, I can't speak that language anyway, so I'm probably chopping up everything. But anyways, to the very next one, R. Lee Ermey says, so many other games do this much better. The graphics are terrible. The performance is terrible. The gameplay is repetitive and boring. The story is dull. And the characters are boring. I mean, these reviews aren't really saying anything. They're just saying terrible, 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 terrible. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. Review. Anyways, next one, BR says another Bethesda game with the quality of 20 years ago. Totally lifeless NPCs in a very dragged game. Graphically poor and poorly optimized. Totally weak story and without much sense at the end of the game. Is even more regrettable for an open world game focused on exploration. That's insane. That's insane. The part that he said that totally weak story and without much sense and the end of the game is even more regret. Like what? How does it not make any sense unless you just blaze through it? Unless you just blaze through the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way it doesn't make sense is if you didn't pay any damn attention. Pretty damn simple what happened in the story. Still early, not gonna spoil anything. But anyways, Dragonheart Yobi comes in saying, great liars, LOL. Vincent Vega saying, you skiing later? What? What do you mean you skiing later? I don't even know what that means. And then Dragonheart Yobis goes on to say, they really end their films. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you can see it. I mean, and it gets even better. It gets even better because man, some of these feelings are obviously from a certain frustrated folk. But anyways, moving on. The next one I'm gonna read is this one, Glud one. So Starfield is, in my eyes, a nameless deception and the final demonstration of a corrupt media ready to do anything to sell and make people sell. Don't even know what the hell that means. Don't even know what the hell that means. Terrible review. Next one, Kozar1K says, arguably the worst single player Bethesda game ever made. Terrible, soapy graphics with a green filter that makes your eyes tired. NPCs are terribly stupid. Quests are not interesting, and there are lots of loading screens, outdated graphics. The game is not optimized, terribly boring game, and it's not an RPG. It's not worth 100 euros for me. Bethesda is completely dead. Yo. Terrible, 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 terrible. The game was terrible. I didn't like it. It was terrible, 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 terrible. Like that's all he said the whole time. It's all terrible. It's just everything's terrible. Let's see how many times did you use the word terrible there. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 times. It felt like 8. All right, it's in Vitala. Okay, let me scroll down so you guys can see that. So Vitala right here. I'm on this one. I'm actually gonna just kind of zoom in so you guys can see the specific ones that I'm on and kind of read it with me if you wish to. All right. So the next one is Vitella. It says, I was very excited for this game. I absolutely love Bethesda games. I can't believe that this game is the worst that Bethesda could have made. I am disappointed. Boring plot, uninterrupted characters, dull gameplay, and worst of all, no sense of travel and adventure. This is the failure of the year, if not the decade. All right. All right. Bunty in the chat saying if you start a game and if you finish a game, you must like it uh just to finish it. So for them to say some shit, or excuse me, you didn't say that. For them to say some of the things they're saying, that does not make any sense. Exactly. It doesn't. A ton of it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't understand a lot of these things with the whole poor graphics thought. I mean, we all know Bethesda, this is like the best graphical fidelity game that Bethesda's made. So if you've played past Bethesda games and you're playing this, I don't know how you give it a side eye. Especially all the previous, but this is the best looking Bethesda game, bar none. It's simple. It's not even an argument. It's as simple and basic as that. The load screens, I could see some people being a little frustrated with load screens, especially if you don't figure out how to navigate, travel, and do it pretty quickly. I could see the loading screens and some of the areas within the UI feeling a little cumbersome. But once you get it, it is fast. It's really fast. So I can tell a lot of these people didn't even give it the time, didn't even really do the story, and don't really know what they're talking about. They're talking about all this like fail of exploration. I thought this was supposed to be big. Like it's not making any sense. Because if you explore and some of these barren planets, you find some crazy shit. You can tell these folks ain't playing the game. They just talking about it and leaving a 1 for a review. It's really that simple. Yodani says, I see you had to wear stunner shades because Xbox's futures are so bright. You goddamn right, man. You goddamn right. I mean, it has nothing to do with it being like 9 a.m. with bright screens and lights in my face. It has nothing to do with that. It's only because of Xbox's future. And man, it's a bright as a month. It's bright as a month. Vince Vegas comes through saying you were thought you were wearing ski goggles. No, okay, I see what you were talking about. No, they're not ski goggles, they're shades. They're shades. You said going skiing. Okay, I was wondering what the hell you were talking about, bro. I appreciate you clearing that up. Dragonheart Yobi says TSWS gaming, it's terrible because it's not on PlayStation. I wonder if these were people going to bat shit crazy with the negative about this game. was loved by their yeah, you trying to see if they loved by their parents? Exactly, man. Probably not. Probably not. They mad about something. They mad about something that's a little bit beyond gaming, you know what I'm saying? The person whose eyes are hurt and didn't read the epileptic announcement uh, when starting the game. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep going, you guys. I'm gonna keep going, you guys, because I'll get stuck in the chat too long. And I came to read these dumbass reviews, so I'm gonna continue to go. I'll get back to the chat here in a little bit. If you want to leave a super chat and make sure that I absolutely read it out, go on ahead and do so. Those are open. Members are open. Those are only $2 to join this channel. But anyways, let me keep going. The next one I'm hitting you with is Red Flag 75. So let's see what he has to say. He says, or she says, was hoping this would satisfy my craving for sci-fi, but it turns out not to be. The background and music are great, but the gameplay is uninspired and derivative of every other RPG from the last 20 years. There are no NPCs that I would consider witty or engaging. The ship builder is interesting, but with the ease of getting ships, there is not much point. What? Okay. Or for any crafting at all, really. Finishing the main story does not take much effort and time. I think this is because Bethesda's expects people to grind the game on New Game Plus again and again. Not exciting. Overall, pretty lackluster. Not no worth the premium price. Will keep playing Baldur's Gate 3 and or No Man's Sky. Gotta love it when they slip No Man's Sky in, because that's how you know where they came from. How you know. I mean, it's just like, okay. See what you're doing there, bud. And to say that the main story does not take much effort is BS. That just the last mission in Starfield is a fucking pain. Unless you played it on easy. If you played it on easy, then sure. Main story might be pretty easy then. But if you played it on normal or hard or very hard, shit gets relentless. And the whole shipbuilder part, I don't understand that. The shipbuilder is interesting, but with the ease of getting ships there, is not much point, is what he said. What? So you're saying, what you're saying is I don't have to be creative if I don't want to, and I chose not to be creative. That's all that you're saying. There's a whole lot of points of being able to want to do that, to be able to make a huge ship. What is this dude talking about? He's just saying, oh, they give me the option to give me something, so, I don't want to use my creativity, and that's a problem. They're not forcing me to use my creativity. Okay. All right, the next one, I can't read those languages. I'm an English dummy. That's all I know. All right, Dave Lie 3, or I mean it might be that when I read this. So Dave says, Elder Scrolls and Fallout always had incredible open worlds despite the subpar gameplay, story, and polish. Fans looked past these faults because no one else could make an open world with that sense of exploration back in the early 2000s. Bethesda used to be the open world game developer. I don't know how many open world games he's played, but okay. Fast forward to 2023, the gaming industry has changed. Almost Every AAA studio has surpassed, let me expand that, surpassed Bethesda Game Studios when it comes to open world games and combat design, story, gameplay, world building, and exploration. FromSoft, Guerrilla, Monolith Soft, Nintendo, and CD Projekt Red. I'm surprised he threw Guerrilla in there. That's wild. To name a few. Sadly, despite huge promises, Starfield is an outdated game with an unimaginative story, subpar combat, and several clunky gameplay systems that are poorly explained, poor optimization on both PC and Xbox, and are far from a current gen showcase. Monotonous and uninspired are the two best words to describe Starfield. Isn't that great? That's pretty neat right there. Oh, Dave, you're insane. All right, next one is okay, I don't know that one. And then Ronak 218 says the PC performance is abysmal and the graphics of the game doesn't justify its poor performance at all. You know, if he had a bad running PC, I understand this review. This is probably the least crazy review that I've seen of them all. Let me go on ahead and grab my camera thing. Give me 2 seconds. Ah, fuck it. I'll just do it on off camera today. Fuck it. I'm not looking for this shit right now. Or maybe in a little bit. But not at the moment. But anyways, continuing forward. Yeah, if he has a bad PC or not a good enough PC and this was his experience, it is what it is. You know, some people, I mean, that makes a lot of people mad sometimes when they can't use the shit that they purchased, whether it was 10 days ago or 10 years ago. Anyways, Bethesda Berg N7, so you can tell little Mass Effect right there. Bethesda Studios exploiting same game engine for over 20 years. They're selling the game to the audience for 2 decades. This game is not enjoyable. It's a grind with loading screens. Mediocre story, bad performance, low quality NPC faces, and empty planets. Thanks, Berg. We really appreciate that. Marston 12345 talking about bugs with 30 FPS. I'm assuming he's saying something about PS2 right there. Can't read that language. I'm sorry. Let me go to one I can. How about Arbo 2K9? So sad to wait this many years for a lifeless game. The load screens ruin everything. The planets are just boring majority of the time. So he's had some fun. Decided it was just a 1. That's cool. Souls 2 says the biggest smoke campaign of the last year after Cyberpunk 2077 bug everywhere, bad performance, outdated gameplay, lack of important decisions, which is not true at all. Last generation graphics, slow exploration, etc. Awesome. Down to Dangyo's Abyss. I don't know. Dangyo's Abyss. This one right here. They have released Skyrim 17 times on 10 different platforms since 2011, basically printing money. Yet this game releases like every other Like every single other Bethesda game, janky, ugly, and behind the times. The sooner this company dies, the better. This is pathetic. Yo, the disrespect. Mad disrespectful. Mad disrespectful. That's insane right there. Let me check out a couple of you guys from the chat. Let me see what y'all saying. Um, I'll go back to Rob the Don. What's cracking? Rob the Don 202. I think 70% of these people played the game. I'd be surprised if that many played the game, to be real. What's up? Black Rider says hard is the way. Yeah, hard is the way. That's what I ended up beating the game on. I'm still currently on hard. I was considering turning it down to normal, but I'm just not. It's just not tough enough for me to turn it down to like I don't die super. I tell you what I do die on sometimes is those is the dog fighting. The dog fighting. But the guns that I have, they're stupid strong, especially the gun after you beat the game, stupid strong. If you do some searching, you can find some super dope guns. But without that, without a couple of those guns, man, hard, it can be a little tough sometimes. Man, but that last level on hard, bruh. All I gotta tell y'all, I'm not spoiling nothing. All I gotta tell y'all is make sure y'all got y'all ammunitions right when you go into that last battle and pay attention. Anyways, continue on. Why So Serious says, why is he saying what he's saying is he never played the game? No, I'm assuming he didn't play the game. Raichi says, imagine calling Hellblade 1 trash because of the Last of Us is arguably better. They both offer a different experience. Exactly. They totally different experiences. Why So Serious says, because back then Bethesda wasn't owned by Microsoft. Perfect. Raichi says, surpass Bethesda open world. Everyone say all open world are 2009 Far Cry 3 copycats. Black Rider says, TSWS gaming social media has gone to shit way faster than it was predicted. Elon wants to make it worse. Oh, shit. I'll read a couple more of these before I get to the next one. Let's see. Raichi says many say game runs bad on minimal settings. You get 900 upscale to 1080, or excuse me, not 1080, 1440p 60 fps at medium, or 1440p native low 30 fps isn't the feared 720 30 fps. Yodani says, pro tip, if you're having a hard time in the dogfights, call up this one 2-tier NPC. Michael Vick, I hear you got that dog, Dog, come on, bruh. Damn, y'all sitting here watching. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you're new. Hit the subscribe. Trying to hit 1,000 before the end of the year. Getting close, almost to 800. Please, you guys help a brother out. Hit that subscribe button. That'd be super duper dope. But look at the disrespect by this. Before we go to the next one, I'm gonna read this one more time. This fool, Dangyos Abyss, said they have released Skyrim 17 times on 10 different platforms since 2011, basically printing money. Yet still this game releases like every other Bethesda game, janky, ugly, and behind the times. The sooner this company dies, the better. This is pathetic. That review is pathetic, bro. Anyways, going to the next one. Ranger River says a poor copy of No Man's Sky. Now you know he's played the game. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely played this game. He's probably got a couple hundred hours into it. He's got to know what he's talking about, y'all. He's got to. A poor copy of No Man's Sky. The visual and technical quality of the game is poor and did not perform as expected. There is a reoccurring trend in the planet that is boring. As far as hype and media lies, the game is not huge, filled by absurd quantity. What? That was like that. Okay. Puzzle right here says propaganda false. Okay. I don't know that language. Okay. Moving on. He's calling it propaganda, though, I guess. Bruno JBF says, I really wanted to like this game, but it is not what they said. This game is graphically outdated and not fun to play. There is no AI. NPC are creepy. I didn't get myself having fun playing it. The loading screens simply make you feel bad. 30 FPS in next gen machines is unacceptable. Honestly, this is a Xbox 360 game. Yo, a 360 game. What's cracking, Sir X Man? Thanks for hopping in. Same with you, Dolo Knight. Appreciate it. Oh man, these reviews. I still got so many to go. Kia, yeah, I'm just gonna keep reading reviews for a little bit. You guys, I'm not even gonna waste the time to judge them. You guys need to hear this shit so you can move on with your day. I'm not trying to have a 5-hour stream saying these dumbass reviews. So let me just go on ahead and push through it. If you want to leave a comment, go on ahead. Leave a super chat if you really have something to say. But other than that, I'm just going to be reading these reviews. Kia Sail Me says, boring game. After a couple hours, character animations are bad and soulless. 30 FPS makes the game even more unenjoyable. Repetitive missions over and over. It basically looks like a 10-year-old game. Graphics look so eighth ish. I'm guessing so Gen 8 ish. Ugh, that's a hard one to say at the end. Anyways, Onyx says there is no Russian localization. Even Sony does allow itself such. Even Sony does not allow itself such Russophobia. No optimization. It feels like games on Unreal Engine 5 are not optimized. The reason is known. Empty world. So yeah, Unreal Engine 5, he says. Okay. Empty worlds. Empty and boring worlds resembles No Man's Sky at the very beginning. Texture in some places are carelessly stretched. There's no clarity in procedural generated worlds. Lack of transportation for movement. I kind of agree with the lack of transportation for movement. I would like a car in the game or something. That would have been dope. I'll agree with that little snippet of it, of this batshit crazy review. Poorly implemented points of interest. The beta version is giving out a full-fledged product. A sad trend in modern gaming industries. All right. 8 MRXO8. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to say, but lame character animations, no exploration as promised before. It ain't vast at all. There's planet boundaries and no flying. What the hell is this? We're promised something great, but it's just another space game. I give it 1 because of the false promises. Rest in peace, Bethesda. Next one by Take Care says, unfortunately, the graphics of the game are very bad and the artificial intelligence is terrible. The game remains old in every sense. Uh, Patoth Gamer or Pat O the Gamer, one of the two, says, never learned just like Fallout 76. Full of bugs, don't know why people giving it high rating. It's like everyone's just forgot what they did to that game. So they're talking about Fallout 76 for their review for Starfield. Very cool. This is John TJ with a member, a 1 month member chat saying, "Hi Ham Solo, these ponies are down bad. It is evident." What up, Crazy Louie? I see you up in the chat saying false promises. What? Exactly. What? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Anyways, the next one that I can read, because I can't read that language. I'm sorry. Maybe you can, Louie. But anyways, the 72 Scorpion says Cyberpunk all over again. Fake promises, no facial animation. What? No facial animation, no free landing, takeoff, performers like shit. All right. This one by Fire Typhoon 123. I played Starfield on PC and genuinely did not like it. It's an empty shell when compared to a game like Skyrim or even Oblivion in some aspects. Only the Xbox fanboys are hyping up this mid game because it's not on PlayStation. The graphics are from 2014. The gameplay is janky and not good. The NPCs are dumb and ugly. It's chock full of load screens, and exploration is unrewarding and not fun. Not to mention there's woke shit in it as usual. Also, remember back when there was only either male or female options? Well, now you get to choose not only gender, but also your pronouns. Yay. In my opinion, it deserves a 3 out of 10. I'll give you a 1 because the way these shills have been praising this crappy game. Wow. He gave it a 1, even though he believes it's a 3, and it's mostly because of woke shit. When it all came down to it, is because of woke shit and like and shills, and they're just so dumb. These guys have just no reason to dog the game, but they are pulling out their magnifying glass and just honing in on these silly little things that doesn't even fucking matter. Shout out to John Wolf. He's saying these people are insane. You goddamn right. Crimson Revolver comes through saying the space travel is extremely boring and the ship maneuvering is very clunky. Not sure if he knows that you can upgrade that. But anyways, continue. The shooting mechanics are still the same tired, laggy, Killzone-ish movement from Fallout 4. 2 different games put together, and okay, whatever. It's bad enough that they really should have included another VATS system in Starfield. I played an hour since it came out and found myself just going back to the game I was playing before it released, Skyrim. He played it for an hour. Skyrim is light years better than Starfield, he continues. All right. Didn't see that coming, right? How about this one? Do we see this one coming? From Kratos. 0611. It reads, I had very high hopes on this game. Sure. As Bethesda promised groundbreaking innovations in an RPG game never seen before, but to be honest, I am really disappointed with the game. The game is nothing special and a complete waste of my time exploring hundreds of barren planets and infinite loading screens. Character models are very outdated as well as the story is boring. I give it a solid 1. I do not recommend it to anyone. You hear that? He doesn't recommend it to anyone. But what I recommend you to do is hit that like button for your boy Ham Solo. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. We're out here reading these goofy ass reviews from these goofy ass reviewers today. And there's still a lot to go. I'm only on the first page for it. Actual J says, under-delivered, overhyped, buggy, and disingenuous positive reviewing and review botting. Doesn't deliver a good score. Stop defending objective mediocrity. So didn't review the game here. He's telling people to stop fake reviewing as he doesn't even review the game in his review. You can't make this up. Under-delivered, overhyped, buggy, disingenuous, positive reviewing and review botting. That has nothing to do with Starfield. Doesn't deserve a good score. That's his review. It doesn't deserve a good score. Stop defending objective mediocrity. He's talking to people in a review. Okay. Alexandra Capo says, this isn't the game I want. Not my Bethesda game. Just broken promises. Maybe it was the engine or maybe the Xbox Series S, aka the potato, fault. Who knows? But I'm so disappointed and can't believe they made it so bad. No one should get this awful game. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Alexandria. But you've yet again, like many others, have yet to give us an actual review of the game. You're not talking about the game. Cuneo PL says 30 FPS combat like in 2005. This is not a good game. No, try No Man's Sky. Thanks. Look at that bullshit. Yo, Donnie became a member of the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, brother. Good to see you here. Good to have you as usual. Graphics Scott, I see you up in the chat as well. And Drawn TJ with the $5 super chat saying these guys must be on the same shit as David Jaffe was when he made Twisted Metal. I mean, these people are on some serious dope right now. If they think that they are making sense, or if they even think that they're making a review. These aren't reviews. They're just words to make a sentence. I don't know how many times I got to hear something like, oh, it's like No Man's Sky, or try No Man's Sky, or I'm going back to No Man's Sky. Like, they're not even the same type of game at all, man. I don't get it. I literally don't get it. But anyways, moving on. Let me scroll, have this at the top, near the top. And then we're doing Cruci, or whatever you say that name like. Hold up real quick. Sir X-Man says these people need to play what they got. Sorry, they don't have anything but Spider-Man. Anyways, Cruci says, looks bad, works badly, it's ugly, and it's low quality. I don't see any good aspect. Looks, works, it's ugly, low quality. Wow. Creativity. All right, I am gonna do this real quick so I can check out this to make sure it's not actually a spoiler. Nope, and it wasn't. Anyways, I'll just collapse that. Says AOGG says this game honestly feels like it was made 10 years ago. The game is buggy mess. Despite what fanboys say, the game is boring and clunky. I'd argue this is the most overhyped game of all time, and Bethesda is obviously just paying reviewers to say it's good, to say good thing about it. And Bethesda fanboys haven't a clue what a good game is if it came up and smacked them. I'm glad it came to Game Pass because this would have been an instant refund if I had bought it. I'm glad I waited before I bought it. There you go. There you have it. It's a terrible game. But thanks to Game Pass for not making him buy it. Well, at least he said something positive about Xbox right there. Glad it came to Game Pass for him. I guess. Anyways, Game Crazy right here says game breaking bugs, 10-year-old graphics, and crashes. The NPCs are ugly as sin. Their voice acting is lacking. And the game is more load simulator than anything else. Not worth its current price for such poor quality. Awesome. I love everyone saying the 10-year-old graphics part. That's pretty good. It's like they've played a lot of Bethesda games. It's like they've played a lot of Bethesda games and they know what they're talking about. Spencer's Boy, excuse me. Okay. Fallout 4 in space. Same engine, same graphics, same bad AI, and bugs. Bethesda do so well. Overhyped because Xbox has been so dry for 3 years. Loading. 7 billion for this, Phil? Ridiculous. All right, I'm doing this again real quick just to make sure that this isn't okay. I'm gonna read this real quick before I give it back to you guys, just to make sure that it's not actually spoiling. All right, so this isn't even a spoiler. I don't know why people keep saying things are spoilers when they're not. So this one right here by Sudandan or something like that, 55 says, "Oh my god, I'm very surprised by those who gave the game very high ratings. I played nearly 100 hours. Most of the planets are completely empty. The combat system is very bad, and or I was playing as if I was playing on a 360 device. Give this man a 360 so he can remember what that's like. The non-playable characters have very bad artificial intelligence, an open world, and frame rates of 30 FPS. This is unacceptable and completely stupid. The only good thing is customization on the vehicle, and you can take anything in a view. And you can take anything in front of you. Oh, my bad. All right. Well, anyways, Vince LeMan said the marketing department greatly oversold this one. I'd rather play No Man's Sky, to be honest. Are you being honest? Don't think you are. Because the crazy thing is nobody was talking about No Man's Sky until this game came out. It's pretty wild. All right. John TJ says, "Come on, Ham. Remember, if it's not a real review, then there can't be spoilers." LOL. Gotcha. And you spammed the hell out of that, bro. You made sure I was gonna read that. Gotcha. All right, so let's see. Maga 909 says, it says, I thought like in No Man's Sky, you can land anywhere on the planet. You can explore interesting places, but this is not there. You play and complete a lot of boring and homogeneous tasks. This is considered boring and not interesting. After 20 hours of playing, there is no longer any interest in playing this game. Hey, if you played it for 20 hours, sure. But I feel like you'd have a little bit more to say if you played it for 20 hours. A little more to say than I couldn't land my shit. Just saying. I don't know. The way that people review games are different, I guess. Check Colin says, while I had high hopes for Starfield, I must admit that I was thoroughly disappointed with the game. It simply didn't meet the mark in several crucial aspects. Most notably, the absence of a map feature was glaring oversight that made navigating the game world needlessly frustrating. The NPCs in the game, regrettably, rather lackluster in their development, lacking the depth and immersion that I had hoped for. What's more, Starfield was plagued by a slew of glitches that seriously detracted from the overall game experience. These issues, unfortunately, overshadowed any potential enjoyment I might have derived from the game, making it a regrettable gaming experience. I love that he said all of that stuff to not tell us what the issues were, other than it had some glitches. It had a few glitches, but that's it. That was a long-winded sentence to say it had some glitches. All right. Anyways, Blue 8 or Blue Bomber or whatever he wants to go by says the game runs at 30 FPS on my Series X, which is a huge problem. Not releasing with a 60 FPS option is unacceptable in 2023. I'm used to 60 FPS now, and 30s hurt my eyes, especially when turning. All of the loading is unbearable as well. The story is just meh. Well, how do you know the story is meh if the game is so bad that it hurts your eyes and you can't play it? Okay. Story was just meh for a game pretty uninspired. I wanted it to be I wanted to like it because of the hype, but all that did was make my disappointment seem worse. All right. MX Carnage. This game offers nothing that hasn't been done way better in other games. Very unfortunate, as I really wanted to be this a win. Okay, I did read that right. This a win for Xbox. The reality is that it's another failure for Team Microsoft. Let me expand that. Glaring issues are terrible AI, stupidly dated encumbrance mechanics. That's arguable. Horrible inventory management. I feel like that's the same thing as the whole. Okay. But maybe not. Maybe it means two different separate parts of it. Compartmentalizing the exploration results in fragmented experiences, i.e., not seamless like No Man's Sky. Broken loot system with no efficient way of determine what is relevant or not. Yeah. Okay. Ping Gaming says game lacks next gen features and its graphics is really wash out. No way Xbox keeps on publishing unfinished games. Sina Barani says, what a waste of time. I played 40 hours and still nothing has been enjoyed. That's a lot of time to have a whole lot of nothing, but it's pretty wild that you couldn't even describe anything in the review. Just the one, and I played 40 hours. Joel Joppy 5 says this game is slow and very boring, but if you like Fallout 4, you might like this game. Is very buggy. I hope it gets fixed soon. Kinesi says, okay, I can't read that. That's fine. That is fine. Let's see. RPAPI says, such a terrible game. You can't even fly through the planet's atmospheres, just like Fallout 76 in space. Tragic. Rakia, this game may be a great RPG and all of that, but it's an absolute technical disaster. I invested more or less 8 hours and simply couldn't take it much longer. The game barely runs on an Xbox Series X console. The frame rates are incredibly bad, and this to me is simply unacceptable. The limitations of the engine are obvious in running the experience of what could have been a wonderful game. The models of the in-game characters look like they came from a game into the 2010s. The worst part still remains the frame rate issue, especially during space battles where you would need to maneuver around obstacles and target enemy spaceships. Spinning the camera with these frame rates simply disconnects you from the entire experience. Oh yeah, get ready for massive amounts of load times. That's all I can say about this game. Avoid it unless you would like a comics like experience on what could have been the RPG of this gen's consoles. That's wild. That's wild. All right, that was a pretty good one. That was a fun review to read. Let's hope to find another fun one like that. All right. Well, good. Some of these are a lot of these are in other languages because that's giving me the ability to just skip on down and hopefully make it to the next page. Because Lord Almighty, I still have like 5 pages to go. I'm not sure how much you guys can take of this, but we're going all in for it. So I hope you are ready. Buckle up. We're continuing this ride. D9 I says, Starfield is the biggest disappointment this year, a poorly marketed game of lies, deceit, and others. The exploration is bad, the story is bad, and the world is bad. I spent 15 hours with this game and I cannot finish more. This is torture. JD JVC 2121. Okay, I can't read that one. Perfect. Great. One less idiot I have to read. Handler 004 says, one of the worst games I've played in my life. Xbox are praising the game as if it is a wonder game. Such a boring game. I don't have all year to play games so that it becomes interesting afterwards. All right. Let me see this one. It's in a different language. Let's see. Now we're at this one right here. Jeez Louise. The game and no action and explore big map and all do scan objects for mission and color ship need to locked and suit and little action. The graphic worst and read my comment before buy the game and lot glitch game and buy game and don't give you demos and good day. What the fuck was that? What in the fuck was that? I'm not reading that shit again. Bro, what the fuck did I just read? I ain't reading that shit again. That was cancer. I am not reading that shit again. You got me all the way fucked up. Anyways, Dan Rod 47X says very early release. Could have been a great game, but feels incomplete, even though it was in development for such a long time. I'm assuming this person didn't play the game either. What the hell are they talking about? Lounge or whatever that name is. Lounge. Another bug infested RPG made by Bethesda, not to mention outdated graphics. The game is just flat out rubbish. All right. Dr. Jones 10/11/01. 30 FPS is unacceptable for game release late 2023. Poor quality, facial models, and lighting. Game launched buggy. Poor UI, very hard to navigate. This game needs a lot of quality of life changes. All right. And then the next one we got down here, it says this review contains spoilers, but we know they didn't play the game. So it says awful, terrible, and boring game. It's perfect for sleep when you are tired. Phenomenal. I mean, he spelled bozo wrong, but I'll do it wrong. I'll do it for him. Bozo 2015 says the Bethesda did what it knew how to do and did not do what it could not do. Wow. Wow. Let me do that one more time. Let me run that shit back. The Bethesda did what it knew how to do and did not do what it could not do. It turned out to be a Fallout only in space. Decide for yourself whether this is a plus or minus. In my honest opinion, as a start for a new universe, it will do, but with the next the Elder Scrolls 6, this will no longer be excusable. Among the direct shortcomings, an obsolete engine straight from Morrowind 2002, too frequent downloads. God forbid the game is not on an SSD. Well, we don't need to mention the motion animation, NPC's facial expression, and bugs. They've already made memes. Shooting is uninteresting. like in a Fallout. Extremely stupid AI in combat. Among the advantages noted, the graphics are beautiful. Some landscapes look very cool, and if your computer allows it. The content is off the charts. In any new settlement, you will be crammed with dozens of quests, random encounters, etc. Skills, thinking through a build, development, grinding resources. This is modernization or moderation. They don't force it. But if you want to get confused, then the gameplay will have an impact. If you want to get confused, read this dumbass review. If you want to get confused, read that shit again. Next, Cubicorn. People say the game gets good in 12 hours, but I found I had the opposite experience. I went into this really enjoying the game, but then you kind of eventually find out the whole game is fast travel. Fast travel from the planet to space, fast travel to the location on the planet, fast travel to the lodge. Repeat. This loop happens forever. Once you realize that it completely takes away from any immersion you may have had. I find myself unable to keep playing, as every time I try to play, it hits me with load screens, albeit quick, um, to another location instead of organically going to a place and then unlocking the option to fast travel if you want. If you want to, the game is fun when you're on main planet or local that is filled with quests and you don't leave, because once you do, the game fades. It deserves a 1, but he somehow slipped in that the game is fun for him in some aspects. You can't make this stuff up. It doesn't make any sense. How's it a 1 then? And on top, it's an exploration game. Like, what the fuck? All right, anyways. Lion X 11 says game performance is terrible. They did not optimize the game well. You need to spend thousands of dollars on a powerful enough PC to run the game in good quality and performance. The trailers they showed were very deceiving. Xbox Boy 360. I can't wait to read this one. Let's go. Wow. Waited for this? Big Fallout 4 fan and couldn't wait for this. What a big disappointment. Graphics are outdated, janky NPCs. Yes, I know Bethesda is known for those, but it's 2023. Too many loading screen, washed out colors, boring planets with the same locations. I've had several of the exact mines at different locations. AI is dumb as a box of rocks. The fact that you can't just fly your ship around the land without loading screens is hilarious. Bethesda dropped the ball with this. There are fanboys out here claiming it's a 10 out of 10. They are lying and are in some way responsible for the mediocre games that Xbox churns out. Xbox fans need to be more honest with their reviews and don't just say it's good to pump up the brand. Stay away from this game. I gave it a 1 only for the shipbuilding. Other than that, it should be sent into a black hole. Yikes. My lord, he is not happy. I like that he's projecting out Xbox fans while his name is Xbox Boy, which is interesting, but okay, bud. XR I don't even know this one. I'm just gonna call him punny because the last four words are punny. So let's hope that it's funny. So when I heard that from reviews that it was slow start, I didn't expect that would be this boring. From the hype and the promise, the game has more compromise than next gen features. The graphics and character models are outdated, and the glitches from Bethesda Game Studios past returns. Great for everyone who has Game Pass, as this is certainly not worth retail price tag. 1 out of 10. Toral 2 says, sadly, this is a letdown after revolutionary Skyrim. Positive Positives are great atmosphere and amazing soundtracks. Shooting also feels improved compared to Fallout 4. Dislike horrible enemy AI exploration, lack of vehicles. This game is often quite boring. 1 out of 10. It's pretty fun. Leo SCO says works better than the PC version, but still few bugs and forces pronouns. We see where this is going. On people that should be a choice if we want them or not. So, I mean, it kind of is just pick him, then you're done. Or she, her, and then you're done. Then it's you don't get bothered about it ever again. So that is the option, bud. That is the option. But that's pretty fun. It says yeah, forced pronouns um should be a choice if I want them or not. I don't add planets what? I don't add planets pretty much same and lack a lot of said would have, and this is nowhere as good or fun as original. Shame. Yeah, yep, I demanding money back. Good luck. Geez, Louise. Fucking A, man. Um, let's see. Oh, Sephiroth owning. Okay. I wonder where this is gonna come from. Most disappointing game of the year. Very old engine. Loading everywhere. 30 FPS in Series X. Old Cyberpunk 2077 looks better. What? Oh my goodness. People. All right. Mirror's Dark. Absolutely disappointing and overhyped. Got it via Game Pass. So I rate it 1 just because I didn't buy it. Can't imagine spending my money on this. The story is the most boring plot I've ever seen. Repetitive quests, empty planets, constant loading screens, and ugly NPCs, game stuttering. It's such a long waited first party exclusive, and they couldn't even make it 60 FPS. God, 30 FPS for dated graphics like these is laughable. And to think people worried that this game would steal the spotlight from Baldur's Gate 3 and ended up being crashed by ended up being crushed by Baldur's Gate 3 instead. It was really exciting for Starfield, but after playing it, I am really disappointed. All right. All right. And then critic game PR 0, or supposed to say pro, but I'll say PR 0 instead. I am wondering what Bethesda actually did in the last decade. It feels like it feels like a reskinned Skyrim dash Fallout with incredibly outdated game mechanics, quests, graphics, and full of annoying loading screens without actual space exploration. Phlegoron didn't meet my expectations. Reviewing reviews are misleading. Way too much loading, a lot of stutters, frame dips when moving. Game even capped at 30. No space travel, exploration, outdated facial animations outside of cities, and generated planets look outdated and barren. For a game of the gen, you spend a lot of time in menu and loading screens. The interior and themes look good. If you enjoy Bethesda games, you will get your fix. Just this game feels like 2015 era game, outdated. I am going to read this one real quick. So, just a quick second. All right. So, this one is pretty nuts. It's interesting. Section epic adventure. All right. So, let's go on ahead and read this one. This one's pretty interesting. So, this one's from based user 69. Try not to read ahead of me on this one because it's supposed to contain spoilers. So, and it's a long one, so it might. I'm going to make sure before I read ahead, and I read ahead a little bit, so you guys don't get any type of spoilers. So, if you're looking directly at the screen, maybe look down for a moment or just listen up. But this person says, I have to say, Starfield left me thoroughly unimpressed. With all the hype surrounding the game, I was expecting an epic space adventure that would transport me to new worlds and dazzle me with innovative gameplay. Unfortunately, what I got was a bland, uninspiring experience. Firstly, let's talk about the graphics. In this day and age, I expect Starfield to offer breathtaking visuals considering the game's focus on interstellar travel. However, the graphics were subpar, filled with pixelation, muddy textures, and lackluster environments. It was a very disappointment to explore various planets that all looked oddly similar, lacking unique characteristics or visual variety. The gameplay mechanics were equally underwhelming. Starfield compromised a seamless blend of exploration, combat, and trading, but everything felt clunky, poorly executed. The controls were unresponsive and often frustrating, making simple tasks feel like a chore. The combat lacked depth and innovation, feeling like a basic copy and paste from countless other generic space themed games. Moreover, the storyline did little to capture my attention, my interest. The narrative felt weak and poorly developed, with forgettable characters and predictable plot twists. The quest lacked originality and failed to provide compelling motivation to keep playing. Another major letdown was the lack of multiplayer or even a form of robust online interaction. Starfield claimed to offer a universe filled with countless players to engage with. I don't remember that. People, maybe to engage with, not players. But it felt incredibly empty and lonely. There was no sense of community or shared experiences, which made the vastness of space feel more like a desolate wasteland. All right, finally, the technical issues were abundant. From frequent crashes and game breaking bugs to long loading time, Starfield felt like a rushed and poorly optimized product. It's evident that Bethesda prioritized releasing the game quickly rather than ensuring a polished and enjoyable experience for players. All right, let me read this last one. All right. In conclusion, Starfield fails to meet the expectations set by its ambitious marketing campaign. Lackluster graphics, clunky gameplay, unremarkable storytelling, and technical issues all contributed to a disappointing game experience. It says save your credits and explore other galaxies in more engaging and well-known executed space themed games. All right. That was not a spoiler at all for anything. And then thank goodness there's only 2 more left on this goddamn page. Starfield. Okay, that one I don't need to read because it's in a different language. 99 and says graphics is decent, but are not policed. The story is generic. AI is bad. It's from other game. You go played 20 hours plus and feels like a waste of time. You do the same thing over and over and think it's rewarding. The game is so overhyped. Fallout 4 is way better than this game. Finally, done with that page. On to the next one. Let's get right into it. Oh, look at that. Fratanga played. Boring. Repetitive and filled with the same game-breaking bugs. The game only gets interesting when you completed New Game Plus 5 Plus. What? I was hoping this would be the PS killer, but it's only gonna kill the Xbox. Thank you, Phil Spencer, for ruining the Xbox and Bethesda. The only redeemable thing is that I can recreate my real life crush Dreamcast guy. Wow. As my in-game player. What the hell? All right. Anyways, the review judge says, not very good, glitchy, and feels very unfinished. I thought they would have done a better job with all the time they had. I'm gonna stop clicking the ones that contain spoilers just because it's taking more time than necessary. Yaga Mill or My 7, whatever. Graphic and gameplay looks like I'm playing on Xbox 360 or PS3. However, some PS3 360 games give you a better experience and more fun. Sasuke 69 or 6199. Bad game in 2023. Just 30 FPS on Xbox S and X. It's is a crazy 1, no space exploration. 2, NPC is very, very, very ugly. 3, no facial expressions. 4, dumb NPCs. Okay. RPG enjoyer. This guy named Peter OVO on Twitter. Wow, this is the review for the game. This guy named Peter OVO on Twitter said this was the best game ever and I bought it, but he lied. The game looks very last gen, plays like a 10-year-old Fallout game, and the story is boring. Just play it for free. That's fun. That was fun. What the fuck is going on here? What's cracking? Some of you guys that just stopped through. I'm seeing Mishi. Mishi Miyagi, what's cracking? Good to see you. Let's see. Sappho, good to see you as well. Um, what's that? Squigglers 420? What up, friendos? Good to see you pop up in here. I appreciate it. Let's go on ahead. Derek Redden, 35, says, I tried the game out, but it was just not for me. I mean, it have good shooting and all, but that's it. Not all that fun to play. 1 out of 10. That's great. Thanks for the review, bud. We learned a lot. Miyazaki Gamer or Miyazaki Gamer. I can't read that. Don't read that language. S9VA22 says the game is as empty as possible. They gave 1,000 planets that are empty, and they all and then they are with walls, tons of empty NPCs. This game is not thousands of planets, but thousands of downloads. I tell you what, I don't know how many of you guys have ran into the barrier in the game yet, but I beat the game and I didn't even run into one barrier. I wouldn't have even known it existed until maybe later. So I don't know. I don't know what some of these people are talking about. I mean, they have this stuff to say about the game. They know there's barriers, and what they're telling me is that they watched somebody else play it for a little bit or seen something on Twitter for a little bit. I have a hard time believing that they played this game. I have a really hard time believing that. Nifty Explorer says, excuse me, planet have no collision or atmosphere. And you have to sit through a loading screen and animation every time you want to travel to a new planet or make a jump across galaxy. This ruins the immersion, and 99% of the planets are so barren and have nothing. And even the planets that do have something, it feels very lazy and uninspired. That's fun. Oh wow, look at this one. At least he was kind of funny with it though. So Hidinori 017 says definitely a Gotti. Garbage of the year. That's funny. I can't even lie. That's funny. That's kind of funny. I'll laugh at something as long as somebody at least uses wordplay well. At least that person used the wordplay pretty well. And it made it was funny. I'll just leave it at that. He says a lot of bugs, JPG background, lame exploration, a bunch of planets are empty. You just go to farm some shit and leave. The space is a fake trick. You are not moving, everything is moving around you. Huh? Okay. Okay. Um Fragger Souls says, honestly, I can go on and on about this game of the generation, but that will make me put more effort into this that the entire dev team did for on midfield. This is gonna be good. Uh, game looks like it's from 2015. Runs like shit for what it looks. No modern technology implementation. Facial animations from Paleolithic age. Not bug free. AAA standards and not Bethesda Game Studio standards. Nothing interesting, even in first 10 hours. Literally, most main quests are fetch quests, no mini map or map of any kind. AI is worse than games from 2000s, every NPC or quest character's dialogues are snooze fest. Nothing is polished or makes you say, wow, that is well done. Movement, gunplay, looting, UI is janky. Repetitive copy and paste bullshit of locations in the first hours of gameplay and in planets that Liehoward or Lieward, Todd Lieward claimed to be handcrafted. Space exploration is non-existent. Flight controls, which even games from the 90s did better. Story is lackluster with no depth or care. That was a lot. All right, continuing on. Pentagon One says the game has the worst writing of all Bethesda games. This game is also extremely politically charged to the point that it is repulsive and insufferable. Wow. Okay. John Bongovi. Okay. I've been a huge Bethesda fan since the beginning, but this game is the final straw. It's the final straw, y'all. It's the final straw. To have a game based on exploration where the planets are empty apart from points of interest, which I can literally repeat 3 times on the same planet, is unforgivable. Uh, or what is the point of 1,000 planets where you can keep encountering the same outposts with the same map, with enemies in the same places, the same loot chests in the same evening? I don't know. What's the point of going to Florida, going to Walmart, getting the same food at McDonald's? What's the whole point of going somewhere else ever? It's just the same stuff everywhere, right? Like, whatever. Um, Unholy Catfish. Pros: the main soundtrack is pretty dope. Cons: constantly more bugs than the moldy pizza in the corner of my room. Why is there a moldy pizza in the corner of your room? That's an interesting thing to say in a review about yourself. T Rash. Bro said the cons of the game contains more bugs than the moldy pizza in the corner of my room. Dialogue that reads like it was taken straight from a Marvel film. Characters with less personality than my desk lamp. Combat that feels like I'm shooting target dummies with a water pistol. Stare. Literally a single enemy type copy and paste 1,000 times with, let me expand it, with different hats. FTL, an indie roguelite made by one dude, unironically had more space exploration than this game. Bland, uninteresting universe where I literally couldn't care less about anything that happens in it. Possibly the worst UI I have ever experienced in any major release title. An inventory that's harder to manage than my emotions. You right. You real emotional right now, bro. More time spent in loading screens than browsing the internet on dial-up connection in 2001. All in all, I cannot say I enjoy a single minute of the time I spent playing the game, and I am thankful Steam was kind enough to give me a refund. That's interesting because this is reviews for Xbox Series X. What are you doing here? But who am I to expect this person can read very well? I mean, he keeps a damn moldy pizza in the corner of his room. I mean, you reading that right there. Contains more bugs than the moldy pizza in the corner of my room. Tragic. Tomcat 2049 says unoptimized and outdated game, 30 FPS lock on Series X. Shame. Frame rate drops below 30 in cities, and Bethesda rejected any complaints about optimization. Fix your game. Wow. All right. With a quick break, I'm going to read Bunty's $10 super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. He says the craziest thing is by these people simple playing or buying the game is what Microsoft wants. So they are wasting their time the more they talk about it. The more casuals want to play it. Absolutely. The more you circulate, the more you scream something from the top of the roof, the more people are going to look and want to see what the hell you're talking about. And if what the hell you're talking about is wrong, it's going to, the truth will come out. The truth will come out. So y'all can keep dogpiling, sending these terrible reviews, doing what you think is the Lord's work or the work of a PlayStation fan or a fan that's not a fan of Xbox, and continue to throw out this garbage and continue to advertise it to people so they can see it for themselves and then be into Xbox. Because I tell you what, I had a fantastic interview with Fuzzy Belvedere a little while back. He was on the PlayStation playing some racing games. People were talking shit about Forza. He wasn't even on Xbox. People were talking shit about Forza. He ended up buying an Xbox to try it for himself, loved it, and hasn't been back to the PlayStation other than for like a few games on like it's pretty much his exclusive box at this time. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna say some shit to end up getting a fan to move on accident. You're you're not helping your situation. Anyways, moving forward, Thorsius says extremely bad game. The space combat has terrible controls compared to the game that came out 10 years ago with obnoxious button indicators next to weapon and systems. It feels so janky, like they put space combat into a Fallout 3 engine. The combat is Fallout. It actually feels like a terrible Fallout mod. I can't believe this is such a good official reviews. I can't believe it got such good official reviews. Okay. Chocolate 1723 says, I received this game for free as a gift. I spent around 40 hours total in the game, did a few side quests and the main one as well. And let's just say I'm let down. Pros: base building, ship customization, character creator. Cons: literally every other aspect in the game. Annoying stamina system, annoying weight system, awful story that feels like I'm watching a cartoon on Disney XD or Teletoon. Never heard of Teletoon. AI NPCs so god awful in modern day, could program it better. 139 ks and 3080 struggles to get 60 fps at high setting 1440p. So many loading screens, It's so ridiculous. It baffles me. Perk system is awful, blocking you from leveling up perks until you do some stupid challenge. I level up. Uh, Let me choose a fucking perk I want. Um, when shooting, I feel like I'm playing a game on my grandpa's box TV in the guest bedroom, and it's like a 2 second input delay on movie mode. I'm using 360 hertz monitor, by the way, and still feel like ass. I can't imagine what it feels like on a regular player's. Uh, Feels like for the regular players, you can't optimize a game for 1% of the people who are lucky enough to have the hardware and menu settings like FOV, which is a real actual complaint. The FOV thing is like a legit complaint in there. I'll take that one. FOV Todd is on that Zaza. I got it for free, but I want a refund on my time. I agree with them on the FOV thing. The FOV thing would have been nice. Some of this stuff, like the whole shooting thing, shooting felt like I was playing on my grandpa's TV. Like I don't know what the fuck that's even supposed to mean, bruh. Oh, but okay. Let's see. Next one that's in English. All right, EBEM says the worst game I've played, the worst game I've ever played in 2023. The game looks like it's from 13 years ago. That's the review. These reviews are wild. They don't even say anything about the game. They just say this, and then they're out. Let's see. Rousebeh 7000 says Starfield review: a space odyssey confined to cutscenes. Ooh, is this gonna be? Ooh, this sucker's pretty good. Okay, so it says Starfield promised to be the ultimate space exploration game, setting high expectations for freedom and immersion in an expansive universe. Unfortunately, it falls short in a crucial aspect: space travel. The game opts for cutscenes and load screens to transition between planets, denying the player the exhilarating experience of piloting a ship through the cosmos. This design choice feels like a missed opportunity. Of the a game of this genre should offer more than cinematic sequences to portray the grandiosity of space. The lack of real time space travel restricts the sense of scale and immersion that would make the universe truly feel alive. Space is reduced to backdrop rather than explorable environment, making the game feel more limited than it should. Final thought: Starfield offers a visual stunning world, but fails to deliver on the freedom and immersion that should be central to any space exploration game. While the game has its merits, the omission of actual spaceflight feels like a glaring oversight that limits its potential. That was well written. As how it gets a 1 out of 10 is pretty nuts when you say it's a stunning world, but in certain parts it doesn't work. I can understand a lower score than I would score it 100% from this type of person. But a 1 out of 10 just kind of makes this review, makes a seemingly not bad or not the worst written review that I've read today by far. Seems silly when you do that. And there's a lot to be argued with what he's trying to say with the whole scale and immersion thing. It's just like, man, if you really want to talk about leaving a planet, that motherfucker would take a long time. And I just don't know. I don't know what to tell her, bro. I don't know what to tell her, bro. But what I am saying is this was a fairly well written review from this person's opinion, and I don't know, I just feel like the rating of it doesn't match the review. It's as simple as that. Jomama 99. This desperately needs patching to fix the horrible NPC and AI, fix the FPS in New Atlantis broken mess. Let's see. KWD 657, empty, corporate, and soulless. Empty, corporate, and soulless. Okay, this is gonna be great. Whether you are navigating the game's obtuse menus, waiting for the many load screens, speaking to a boring NPC, or completing an uninteresting fetch quest, so this person isn't judging the game at all. One thing is consistent: you won't find yourself engaged with the game's universe. Everything feels hasty, thrown together. Sorry, excuse me. The universe is oppressively uninteresting. Each NPC you meet, you can safely expect them to have nothing interesting to say. Um, there are some minor positive points. The combat is decently fun, where it's not for uh, for bullet sponge enemies, bad AI, and grinding to get ammo. The ship combat is somewhat fun, although it serves no real purpose except providing a barrier to entry on certain places. Overall, one of the most shocking disappointments in recent gaming. Save yourself the time and go replay a classic Bethesda RPG instead. Oh my goodness. All right. Terry, 85 Mar. Game is a massive disappointment. The NPCs and enemy AI is absolutely terrible. You can aim your gun at an NPC or shoot your gun in the middle of a crowd, and there was literally no reaction. NPCs, I don't know what game he played. NPCs also gave no schedules and just walk around in circles, never going back to their home or anywhere besides their spawn points. New Atlantis is the first major city you visit, and there is no immersion whatsoever. NPCs don't even bother to even board the train again, just walking around in circles until you turn around and they magically disappear. This is supposed to be the next gen, yet it can't even do what Oblivion did many years ago. Why remove all the features from the old game and instead add quantity over quality? NPCs never repeat their lines over and over, and it's very noticeable since they only have a few lines of dialogue before they start repeating. The space exploration is non-existent. You cannot fly the ships off the planet and fly to another, but instead done by pointing, clicking to fast travel. Again, no immersion at all. No Man Sky actually meets you seamlessly from flying from ground to space to another planet, all in real time. And this next gen game can't even do it. Um, it's very boring. The graphics also look like an Xbox One game. This game was designed for that system and not for the Series X, and it truly shows they lied and said this was an RPG, you having ultimate freedom, but that's another sweet little lie out of hundreds from Todd Howard. Thankfully, the game is on Game Pass, so you don't have to waste your money on such a big letdown. Letdown lie if of a game. Xbox has fumbled the ball yet again after Halo Infinite and Redfall. More like Red Fail and Starfield. I was more excited for this game than anyone, and literally Oblivion and Skyrim let you do so many things this game doesn't like have. Um, that so many things that this game doesn't have, like the NPCs having schedules and not just walking in circles doing nothing. The game is riddled with load screens for literally everything you do, and they aren't just short load screens, they're very long. Try it out on Game Pass. Just wait a long time, and hopefully Bethesda can fix and add all the things they left out. Man, that was a long, messy, messy review. All right. Master Chief 010 had to all right, let me see. Had to refund when I realized the same game from previous Bethesda games, but this time in space, same old graphics motor, same bugs, even the bucket thing to steal items from Skyrim, and lots of new bugs, bad gunplay, boring gameplay, terrible AI enemies, and bullets. This person says enemies are bullet sponges. So this person says they have bullet sponges. So I mean, these people are not consistent out here at all. 30 FPS in consoles. It's 2023, guys. The most powerful console can't handle 60 FPS at least. Sorry, I'll pass. Fallout 4 was mid game. Fallout 76 was horrible. Now we have Starfield. I have no words. I just refound. This dude needs to figure out how to spell refund. God damn. Twice he said the same shit. Sickos or something like that says the game is hot garbage. Anyone who is giving a review that is positive honestly feels like a lie. The story was boring. The bugs are everywhere with people running into walls and rolling eyes. The game is literally just Destiny 2 without the MMO aspect and actually worse graphics. Bethesda has reached the end of the line for me. All right. As Mongold Legend, unfortunately, a lot of bugs and glitches wasted my time with reload and save. Jazz Jerry, the game experience was terrible, and I couldn't believe why Todd was so confident. Abad, I'm guessing The Last of Us, right? So, that is supposed to be Xbox's most important game in the history. It looks like 360 game, bro. What the fuck? Magnasson, if you like I'm guessing they're saying Fallout 4, this game is for you. But if you want a game where you can wake up, get in your shit, fly into the stars, jump across the system, uh, fight bad guys, travel, explore mines, trade, etc., with all just one loading screen at the start of the game, do all that seamlessly. The beautiful graphics in a true sandbox, no creepy woke stuff. Just play Star Citizen. If you use referral code star dash 6, yada yada, you'll get some extra in-game credits. Wow, that was just an ad for Star Citizen. That's pretty funny. Metal Snake says, after all the promise talk from the devs, the game is just like Fallout 4 and Skyrim. People just hype because it's Xbox now, but hands down, poor graphics, boring gameplay. QU61K says, this is exactly the same game as many others from Bethesda with all of these issues. Unpolished at release, not optimized at all. Todd's words about the freedom and 20 years of development was a sweat lying to gamers' ears. Was I think he's what? Okay. Anyways, next sentence. The same old mechanics, the same old simple quests, the same animations. Just 90% of the game is old stuff in a new cover. This is exactly the same game as many others from Bethesda, with all these issues unpolished at release date, not optimized at all. All Todd's words about freedom in 20 years of development were sweat lying to gamers' hears. What the fuck? He said it twice now. The same old mechanics. Oh my goodness. So I see what he's doing. This asshole. Asshole. He copy and pasted that shit. All right. So finally he says something different. I'm worried about what we can get eventually in Elder Scrolls 6. All right. Loco Moto. What the fuck? 228 says Skyrim bugs, Fallout bugs, Starfield mega bugs. Again, Thousand Planet waste time. Napo Loon ZXT says, if it's named Fallout 5, I will give Bethesda a 8 score. But it is Starfield, even Elite Dangerous SI more like Starfield. The game, even released 10 years ago, it has numerous galaxies that allow for seamless movement with a stellar system. So this is not Starfield, but Fallout in the skin of Starfield. I tell you what, go play Elite Dangerous and say it's anything like Starfield. Good luck. That's all I gotta say. Good luck. I own Elite Dangerous. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You think No Man's Sky is a lot of fetching and doing silly. Bro, Elite Dangerous is on another level of tough. It really is. Learn off. A very good game from an indie studio, thanks to the very only developer who made it. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Ugh, this is just insane. Ludoglog caught full of bugs. Devs don't want to fix them. Boring exploration, almost no story in it. It's horrible. That's wild. All right. The real JTV 4K 60. I wonder who that is. 1 out of 10. We all knew this was going to be trash because they blocked review copies, only sent it to people who would give them high ratings. I watched 20 hours. He watched 20 hours of gameplay on YouTube, and I can say it's trash. That's a lot of time to watch. I mean, geez Louise, there are TV shows I don't put 20 hours into. This man said he watched somebody else play for 20 hours and was just complaining the whole time. 20 hours of just being pissed. Like, I can't do it. I can't. That can't be me. But he says this game takes a lot of time to start, and the graphics look like last gen. This shit is making me tired. The game is also full of bugs, something you won't see on a PlayStation game. There you go, right there. There we go. There we go. Ask King Thrash at Do What You Want. Do What You Do 6. He will tell you the same thing. I'm sure he will. I am absolutely certain that he will. For the love of, I don't even know. Goodness gracious. What up, Eternal Shaddai? Good to see you. I see also up in here the mechanic. Appreciate you stopping through. Let's see who else we may have up in here that I might miss. P Row, what's cracking? Good to see you. Dusty, fantastic to see y'all. I'm sorry, I'm stuck in reading mode. So if you don't see me reading the chats, only time I can really see that I need to stop is when like a different color pops up on the screen from like a super chat or something like that. So if you guys have anything in dire need to say, make sure it's in the super chat, or else I'm sorry, but I'm just going to be reading for the most part this nonsense, because there's still quite a bit to go. It's insane, but I just wanted to make this video because I mean this is, like I just said, it's insane. So this next one, written in English, is from somebody named Starfield Series. I'm guessing this is going to be a positive review, right? Making a next gen game with 30 FPS and pass gain graphics, it's unplayable. Absolutely. Okay. Um I'm legitimately interested in this. Okay, so I love how these happen a lot. It says this review contains spoilers. The name is Xbox Best Box. Who knew exploring the universe would be so dull and uninspiring? Absolute trash. Got it. Anyways, Salty Mountain. That's a pretty good name. Says they should fire this Todd. That guy is a joke. Summary of the game: enter your ship, load screen. Set the console takeoff, load screen. Choose your planet, load screen. Select landing site on planet, load screen. Exit ship, load screen. Explore procedural generated planet. Kill a few bugs and scan the planet's rocks. Fast travel back to ship, load screen. Go back to step one. You can tell he put a lot of time into the game. He didn't just look around and see what other people were just complaining and bullshitting and saying. Not at all. Halagabu says this game is not what I expected it to be. All the promises, all the hopes and dreams that Todd Howard gave us to believe this game would be out of this world and in many ways revolutionize the gaming industry. I was told that this game would have gameplay mechanics and exploration that no game has ever done before. This was all a lie. You can't even space travel. There is no real-time space exploration. You are really stuck using the map to fast travel locations. You can't even circle around planets. The load screen makes to think if the game was really made to be last generation consoles, even go as far back as the PS3, Xbox 360 era where load screens happened every time. This is bad. Starfield was overhyped. It is underwhelming and overrated. I do not recommend this game. Next one is Beansu. Says I would rate this game a 1 primarily because of its graphics and FSR2, but there are several significant issues that make it hard to enjoy. The game has heavily hyped and falsely advertised and poor AI design, as well as NPCs reaction leave a lot to be desired. It falls short of being a true next gen experience and feels more like a remastered version or an attempt to blend elements to Skyrim and Fallout in space in a space setting. As consumers and gamers, we expect a complete and polished game experience from developers rather than relying on the modding community to fix and improve its shortcomings. We are consumers, not modders. All right. Danny Helluber, a lot of hype for nothing. It's not an exploration game at all. Very disappointing for this. And NMS is No Man's Sky is 10 times better. It's not an FPS at all. It's not an RPG at all. It is definitely a mix of things made very bad. All right. After this page, we're going to skip through the next couple pages and just see some of the fun things that were possibly said. I'm not doing this for, oh my goodness, I've been here for 2 hours. This is insane. I'm not doing this for 2 more fucking hours. Forget that. Fuck that. This is wild. Or actually, you know what? Today will be part 1. I will continue on this after, let's say, this page. I will continue on this because this is fun, but I'm not doing this for another 2 fucking hours. Not doing that. I want to play Starfield. I do. So, all right. So let's finish this page, wrap it up, and I'll keep it pushing tomorrow evening because I have a show during the day at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and I'm not trying to read these, and then go straight into the show that we have because then I'm gonna be all groggy, I'm gonna be pissy, I'm not gonna be in a good goddamn mood. So I'm gonna read the rest of this page, and then we'll do 2 more pages tomorrow night. Okay. So make sure if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you come back. We're going to read some more of these crazy, goofy, funny reviews and keep it pushing. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to finish up the rest of this page. So we still have like 20 more things to read. So just bear with me. Henry F. says, super terrible game. The worst Bethesda game ever made. Too little load screens. Too much woke stuff. There's only one thing that people consider woke in it that I notice. I mean, I know that I guess some people go through this stuff with a fine-tooth comb and they looking to call anything that they can find woke or whatever. So, but anyways, the only thing I noticed was the thing at the beginning, the pronouns thing, and then I don't know, like a piece of material in the game that I'm not going to dive into because I don't think the same way that these goofy motherfuckers out here be thinking. But he says too many load screens, too much woke stuff, runs at 30 FPS in current year. Weirus 22 says, for the price, I expected something better. The inability to take off and land your ship is something that deserves a red flag. The plot was boring, and at times I really wanted to leave and just not finish it. 1,000 planets to which there is no access, and if there are any, these planets are empty. I don't recommend it, and I don't understand these positive reviews. I hope the rating will drop and publishers will come to their senses because their approach to players is also embarrassing. Lucdia, or I want to say Lucidia, but whatever. I don't know. It says certainly I haven't. Okay. Certainly I haven't 4090. Really don't deserve to play this game yet. What about next gen masterpiece? This is called the best Bethesda game. This is called a review. That's insane. I don't even know what the hell you were saying. Light and Hack says this game was very hyped, but did not deliver. Poor customization options, little accessibility option. Xbox was doing a great job in other games with that. The story is very underwhelming. Some planets are just lifeless with literally walking and usually finding nothing. Graphics are okay, but definitely not next gen. A space game where you don't have the compatibility of landing the ship or enter the atmosphere by yourself. Every time is a loading screen from travel to travel. Really disappointing game. The next one is Santana Miller says, I played about 11 hours of Starfield. I was very bored the whole time. It felt like I was playing an illusion. It's only load screens and bugs. Flying isn't really flying. The game looks like it was made in 2016. People saying you have to play 12 hours to get into it. That is completely ridiculous. Come on, I'm not giving it a 0 because it helped me waste some time. Wow. A game that lied about its features, released unoptimized and broken. Stop pre-ordering and paying these lazy AAA companies games. You know, he kind of has a point there about the whole pre-ordering thing. But this is a weird game to use that example for, because if you've been around in the past, you've known that some Bethesda games came out way more broken than anything this game has come to be at all. So I think that's a little wild to want to use this game as like the kind of face of that. But hey, to each their own. Thanks a lot, old Craig. We appreciate you. Flock's son said, it is like D4. Millions of dollars thrown into the marketing of the game and not actually production of it. And not the actual production of it. Okay. Faces are worse than ones in Skyrim, released in 2011. Dialogues are dull. AI of the enemies is the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. Gameplay is monotonous. Talk to NPCs, then go to a planet, kill some enemies, collect an artifact, and go back to NPC. A end of Okay, I don't know. I don't want to really get into that because that might be a spoiler. I'm actually gonna move this out of the way real quick just so I can see. Okay, so no, it's not. Okay, so we're good. So so it says end of main story quest. Balance of the game is fucked. In you can meet in one location enemies on level 1 as well as enemies on level 20 and next to each other. So people that give this game 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 are paid actors by Todd Howard or Xbox. That's fun. You always gotta love hearing if you enjoy something you're paid. Basp 10 says no real travel, no landing vehicles, completely immersion breaking. It's just another copy and paste Bethesda game with a filter on. All right. Um, Things in the Dark says another bad game coming from Xbox. Go figure, huh? And of course, it's from Bethesda, whose last games have been amazing. That wasn't that was sarcasm, by the way. So back to the game. It takes forever to get going. I don't want to be bored for 12 hours before the game gets kind of interesting. God awful NPCs, and the graphics are not mind blowing. It looks average. Most plans are just boring and not fun to explore. The gunfighting is so awful. It's like a normal shooter, but not as good. Should kept a VAT system to keep it fun. Let's make let's just be honest, it was not built very well. I'm very, very disappointed. I'll be going back to my PS5 and selling off my Xbox. I only kept the Xbox for Starfield, and I see now it was a waste. Thanks, Xbox, for making more crap. All right. Mr. Anderson 41310 says this is not an RPG. Sure, you can pick a character and pick different perks, but make no mistakes, you can only role play as the character. Um Bethesda wants you to um want to do a evil playthrough? Nope, you can't do it. Even minor NPCs have plot armor. Um, your choices. Okay, wait. Okay, not no. This isn't spoiler. It says your choices at the end of the day don't matter. Every NPC treats you like you are the main character and instantly wants to tell you their life story as soon as you meet them. The dialogue is also incredibly cringy or cringe inducing. Facial animations are exclusively raising eyebrows, nothing more. No sense of exploration, as this is a loading screen fast travel simulator hybrid. I have no idea how the UI made it through quality control. The new lock picking mini game is the only good innovation Bethesda could come up with in 8 years of development. If you buy this game, you better hope to see classic Bethesda bugs, because that's the only thing that makes me smile in my 15 hours wasted on this game. Fugazi says plain awful story as weak as water. Acting worse than Danny Masterson in court. For a space, it got zero atmosphere of void. Raptor 88 says for the price and promotion made huge disappointment. Selling a game at full price with repeated bugs, completely messed up faces, and disastrous lip sync is not normal. Big disappointment. The plans are beautiful, but the FedEx quests are not very interesting. A feeding of emptiness and filler. I hope the console version will be better optimized than the PC version. This is the console comments. What are you doing in this area, bud? Dr. Chagas. Okay, I can't read that language anyways. It says me 137137. I tried my hardest to like it. I got past a learning curve and kept running into more learning curves. Watched all kinds of videos to help me just get from planet to planet. I just didn't like it. Deleted it. All right, and then Segredo says 2 stars for runs horrible on my PC. 1K barren worlds. Um, that's crazy. Resource gathering is a chore, and that is pretty meaningless. Storage is a joke, and a time sink. FPS is subpar. I know it's not COD, but this is janky as if it was made 15 years ago. The number of the num and the number one reason this gets 2 stars, which he gave it a 1. Um, Character graphics. Wow, it's like they wanted to make worse models than Skyrim, and they succeeded. Well done, Marcos. And now we're getting into the zeros. This is when it gets really interesting. I've read some of these zeros on the next few pages, and I tell you, they're pretty damn good. All right, so Marco says it feels like they're still using the same tech that they were using with Elder Scrolls Oblivion back on the Xbox 360 days, terrible facial animation, poor quality dialogues, and voice acting, mediocre everything else. I might have been tolerable back in the day, but it's 2023. It's just bad. World Citizen 19 says, was waiting for this in pre-order. Terrible loading screen after loading screen off. Often cannot figure out where to go and how to get to the next mission. Graphics very bland and disinteresting. Uh, cannot lock on targets in gunfights, so camera is all over the place. Not enjoyable. No Man's Land clone, but nowhere near as good. In my opinion, epic failure. Am shocked to see how bad this is. And then the next one by Riot, Bug Festa, strikes again, this time with a poorly executed wannabe mashup of No Man's Sky and The Outer Worlds. Todd, the most gigantic liar of lying mouth of all time. Howard, wow, that was a long one. Todd, the most gigantic lying mouth of all time. Howard, arrogant, boasting of spending a 200 million budget on a 500 people team for 25 years of development is yet another blatant lie, considering the game doesn't have the sandbox infinite universe that No Man's Sky provides, nor the excellent storytelling, characters development, and narrative content that uh, TOW managed to deliver. Not to mention the humor. Hell, Starfield doesn't even have a proper ship flying mechanic built into the game, considering it's a damn space FPS RPG. The game is consistently cock blocking your immersion experience with loading screens in places where you would not expect to see one since Mass Effect 2 was released in 2010. A testament that Bugfesta uh, doesn't care to update their game engine to modern standards and prefers to dump those resources in creating 100 variations of coffee mugs, books, and cafeteria trays, or writing an innocent amount of completely pointless NPC dialogue lines and an absurd amount of meaningless errands disguised as quests. Speaking of technology and its implementation, the game was released without ray tracing and DLSS, which took the community day one to create a mod. Go figure. With UI animations and interactions capped at 30 FPS on console and 60 FPS on PC. It's not capped on PC, but okay. Which the community looked again day one to increase the FPS to 120 FPS on the UI part. The menus are convoluted and difficult to navigate with a two-page list of shortcuts that change from one menu screen to the other. The main game UI, even though it's is minimalistic and beautiful to look at, is badly designed, with everything on the load screen having the same white color and animation. Clearly, whoever worked on this had no idea about color theory, visual perception, such as depth and contrast detection, and generally how human vision and perception works. They tried to copy the UI of Elite Dangerous. Stop it. But then again, but again, failed. Hopefully, someone will create a mod to fix this in the near future. Last but not least, the bugs. Um, there are a lot of bugs. The NPCs flying in the airs, to ships ejecting you from the middle of space, to NPCs talking with their backs to you to items disappearing from your inventory. The game has it all. I don't think any amount of additional development could have fixed the game. Could have been released in 2025 and still would have been the same issues. The problem is with internal resource allocation, feature prioritization, and technological innovation and implementation. In all honesty, Microsoft cannot save this company no matter how hard they try. The only way to bring Bugfesta on track is to completely reset and restructure them, starting with removing Todd Howard from any decision making position. Every game he's spearheaded in the last decade ended up a complete failure at launch and a blatant cash grab during its roadmap, which sparked consistent controversy and PR backlash. Wow, that was a lot. He said a lot. For the love of God, that was a lot of silly shit. Oh my God, just that one review stunk. It made me pretty damn tired. Ugh, okay, let's push through. Lucas PB says a bunch of load screens, false advertisement, bad optimization, refunded this game as soon as I was able to play it. What? Refunded this game as soon as I was able to play it. Don't trust Steam reviews on this one. It's not worth it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll trust you that said that you refunded it before you had the chance to play it. We'll trust you though. Zuka says, sadly, oh, okay, you can't see the name, my bad. Can't see it on the very top, huh? All right, so Zuka says, sadly, it's yet another Microsoft game with tremendous wasted potential. The logic of filling the Game Pass game catalog again makes Xbox receive an unfinished game that would need more time to work to reveal its true potential and fulfill the promise made. Bethesda is known for great titles, although Skyrim and Fallout 3 although Skyrim and Fallout 3, it is also true it has stopped in time with its engine and has terrible quality control in its games. It's unfortunate that we still see so-called new generation games with countless loadings, invisible walls, and many bugs. Whew. No wonder it's not uncommon to see people refer to Bethesda as Bugfesta. It's just unfortunate that after 3 years of new generation, Microsoft can't show what the Series X came from and justify a reason to have one. Finally, getting towards that bottom. God damn. All right, this one's from Paul GR. They managed to release a space game without spaceship exploration planets or an open world. Starfield is an embodiment of tried to do too much and ended up doing nothing right. It's like they handed Skyrim space gear and said, fly my dragonborn, and or excuse me, fly my dragonborn, but forgot to give it wings or a functional jetpack. Open world Starfield is a stale, soulless world that feels, God damn it, this motherfucker is long too. Oh my God, that feels disconnected. Everything is locked behind the loading screen, and the game doesn't have an open world to navigate and experience. You just jump from object to object via the UI like some sort of COD campaign. You are not in control of flying your ship between systems. Landing your ship depends from departing from settlements, attempting attempting risky docking to board other ships. Everything is a fast travel cutscene initiated via a keybind or through the confusing UI. You read that right. There is no traveling, landing, or exploration or exploring to do on your own when you are in orbit around a planet. You can't go anywhere, no matter how long you fly. For you are no closer to the planet uh, you see ahead of you than before. That's because being in orbit around a planet only serves as a placeholder in a closed waiting zone. To open the UI, choose where you want to fast travel next. There is no open space to navigate. Everything is done via cutscene, which only makes you hungry for more. Why can't I fly my ship wherever I want in a system? Why can't I manually find a spot on the planet to land myself? One click on the map and suddenly teleport to Neon City. Where is the awe of discovery? It by yourself though. Oh man, whatever. Um, this makes Starfield feel more like a collection of maps, dungeons with no clear link between each other, rather than a connected and breathing world. It's like playing Skyrim, but you are only allowed to teleport between dungeons through the map interface without the open world in between. Cities. Oh my god. Cities like space, cities feel disconnected and non-immersive. New Atlantis, for instance, is not even a unified city. Instead, cities are split into various, requiring you to fast travel each between each district. Other than the soulless citizen NPC walking aimlessly around with no schedule, nothing of interest is going on to justify having so many load screens. In addition, almost every single building or shop has a load screen to access, which isn't true, which is very weird since 90% of the buildings with interior are basically just an empty lobby with one shopkeeper. This makes simple fetch quests a nightmare. You have to go through like five different loading screens just to deliver a package from one part of the city to another. Spaceships feel like they wasted all the resources for the spaceship builder, yet neglect adding gameplay that will make your spaceship meaningful. Space travel, planet exploration, landing, docking, mechanics, and fuel planning, just to name a few. As it stands right now, your spaceship is just storage locker where your UI fast travels. It's it is so tedious to fast travel that you may end up not seeing your spaceship for hours during a playthrough. Since you instantly teleport to the selected locations and spawn outside your ship to see your ship, and adds immersion, you would need to add three more loading screens to your first to your fast travel. Pointless since you have no control over anything. You only get to watch the game do everything for you via cutscene. Combat, it's working like in any basic first person shooter game. There are no classes or anything else that will make you think, damn, on my next playthrough, I'm going to play as X and Y. You can tell by the skill points you get to allocate all the traits, offer small bonuses to combat, um, deal 10% more damage with pistols, yada yada. That adds no distinctive gameplay or new combat mechanics. They are just flat bonuses to damage, health, persuasion, um, ship damage, class wise. The only option you have would to either play a range build or a hardly viable melee build. That's it. Outpost building, bare bones, and clunky will mostly probably see paid DLC adding props and things to expand buildings like they did with Fallout 4. They released 3 paid workshop DLCs, landing vehicles. Yep, they did that too. The only other way of traversing by foot is by foot. No land vehicles, rovers exist in the future. Fast travel to planets is a super ship. Um, Now you need to jog like a clown for 1,200 meters in a barren and empty wasteland just to reach an enemy encampment. Be careful not to go too far; you'll hit an invisible wall. Story: as soon as you launch the game, you are given a ship to place. Oh my goodness. A place to stay, and suddenly organization blindly trusts a full organization blindly trusts you, which is off-putting. This feels like a big role-playing part of the game is cut out. Graphics: Starfield feels like a texture and enhanced Fallout 4 mod that there is little improvement between Starfield and Fallout 4. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be done with that damn review. That was tragic. That was tragic. My goodness. When I want to escape the drab and daily life and work, nothing works better than immersing myself in woke pronoun nonsense. Apparently, I can't escape the woke nonsense infesting our daily lives. Hey, Bethesda, my pronouns for F and U. Okay. Oh my goodness. 2 more, thank goodness. Um, Rignaston says 20 plus hours in, and I have only scratched the surface. So much content and care for detail and story. This will easily keep me entertained for hundreds of hours. But it's a 0. I thought I was reading something wrong for a second. I mean, I've read so much dumb shit today that I need a nap. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. And then the last one, E-Nut Butter. Such a oh, please don't be 2 days long. Thank goodness. All right, such a massive disappointment. I didn't even go into with huge expectations. That would be Fallout in space, but the game couldn't even live up to that hope. It's just bland. The Elder Scrolls and Fallout have their own feel, and Starfield just feels like nothing. You spend your time navigating menus to get procedurally generated worlds that feel empty and devoid of any creative, just to mine resources while consistently over encumbered. It's not fun, it's not engaging, and I regret spending a single dollar on this awful experience. And with that, you guys, today I am done. I'm on 26 of 33. We will continue tomorrow with 27, 28, and 29. Cool? Thank you, everybody that came through. Thank you to the new member, Yodani. I appreciate you becoming a new member of the TSWS Gaming channel. Thank you so much to those of you that gave out a super chat and those of you that threw out those member chats. I appreciate that a ton. Thanks to everybody that came through just to watch, listen to me rant and read all of this dumb shit. And like I said, this will continue tomorrow evening. I want to say at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So make sure if you're not subscribed yet, go on ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to be known when I go live for this. I will also be doing another show tomorrow called The Lowdown with my brother Loke. We'll be talking about all sorts of different things. I'm sure Starfield will be in the mix somewhere in between there. Make sure you guys come through, check us out. It will be a show with the both of us on camera, and we'll be showing off stuff that's been going down within the news as of lately. But this is your boy Ham Solo, 05 Gaming on the TSWS Gaming YouTube channel, letting you know to keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out, y'all.